Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of entitled people. In today's episode, entitled people get on our table when we had already reserved it and then get annoyed when they're kicked out. Prick gets his car scratched after parking it illegally. Actually, expecting me to clean up after my pet makes you entitled. Update on dog poop girl. It got worse. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled people get on our table when we had already reserved it and then get annoyed when they're kicked out. So, this happened 2 years ago or so. My parents and I were in Madrid during Easter as tourists. We had had a good morning and my mom decided to call a restaurant she had seen on Google that had good reviews on it to reserve a table so we could eat lunch there. It took us around 20 minutes or so to get to the restaurant, and when we got there, we saw that all of the tables in the terrace were occupied. We were confused because my mom had asked to eat in the terrace on the phone call because the weather was nice, and since it was a beautiful day, we wanted to enjoy it outside. Apparently, a couple had sat down on our table without seeing the small sign saying reserved table on it to get some drinks and a snack. They didn't have any drinks yet though, so they must have sat down a few seconds before we arrived. The waiter sheepishly asked them to leave, since we had reserved the table, and the woman scoffed but ended getting up with a huff. The man approached us, rolled his eyes and said, "Right, this is because you want to eat lunch here, and that takes precedence over having some drinks, right? Typical." My mom raised her eyebrows at him and told him coldly, "No, sir. You're being kicked out because we made a reservation to eat outside on the terrace and you took our spot. I have the phone call to prove it. Do you want to see it?" And she took out her phone, ready to show it to him. The man ended up grumbling and going away with the woman. Needless to say, the meal was delicious and the weather was very nice. October 10th. Yeah, show and tell works every time. You tell him mom and back it up with your call record on your phone. They can go sit inside instead. And they could be told, you could have called and reserved a table just as easily as we did. They saw it. They just chose to ignore it, hoping whoever made the reservation either wouldn't show up or would bend when confronted. I love it when stupid, entitled people get put in their place. Kicking out entitled people makes all food taste better. Prick gets his car scratched after parking it illegally. I worked at car rental place that had a car wash next door. They were owned by the same guy though. The car wash was essentially a side hustle with the bonus of it being able to clean rental cars. As such, we constantly drove in and out of the two lots. The gap between the two driveways was just big enough to fit a car, so it was a tight turn, made even tighter if a car was parked there. After discussing this with the city council, they agreed to paint the curb between the two driveways yellow to make it illegal to park there. Of course, people still park there though. One day, a guy with one of those obnoxiously large Fords parked there. The type of car that you see taking up multiple parks at a mall. The type of car that has an owner with a big ego and a short temper. On that day, we had to clean a bus for a family on their way from the airport. They were ahead of schedule, so we had to move fast. One of my colleagues did his best to navigate around the Ford, but he couldn't, and he scraped a huge gash into the panel above a tire. The owner flipped out. We tried telling him he shouldn't have parked there, it's illegal, but he didn't care. He has a big expensive car, so he's allowed to park anywhere he wants, and he chose there so he was away from other people, reducing risk of damage. That didn't work out for him though, did it? He demanded compensation, but we refused, so he took it to court. Thankfully, he lost. The curb was yellow, so he shouldn't have parked there. He was ruled completely at fault. I hate truck people that have no clue where or how to park. We've got a tiny parking lot at work. Some of the people who drive trucks are considerate enough to park in the side spots, as the front spots aren't truck-friendly. Then you've got the assholes who park crooked and end up taking 2 spots, or park correctly and the people parked next to them can't open their car doors without hitting the side of the truck. I've seen more than a few car owners be just salty enough to ding the truck so they can get in. Part of that sounds like the employer's fault though. If someone's parked correctly, and the person next to them can't get out without causing a door ding, then the spaces are not big enough. Guess that damage reduction plan didn't end well for him. Actually, expecting me to clean up after my pet makes you entitled. Man, I am still trying to process an exchange I had this morning. I was sitting on my balcony having breakfast, and there was this woman I've never spoken to walking her dog. We don't know her, but my roommate and I see her down there pretty much every day. She's around our age, I would guess, so either in her 30s like us, or maybe in her 40s. We've never exchanged so much as a hello up to this point. Now, I really like my apartment complex. It's cute and pleasant to walk around, and the only thing that really sucks is when people don't clean up after their dogs. It's so freaking gross, and I hate when people don't do it. You're a grown-up who made a choice to have a pet. That comes with responsibilities that you have to keep up with. Most people around here do clean up after their dogs that I've seen, so we know it's just a few rotten eggs. If I see people who don't look like they're doing it, I call them out, which I know comes with risks, but come on, people. The response is sometimes defensive, sometimes a bit of twisting the truth like, oh, I was just going to, but they all know that they should be doing it. Anyway, this woman has her dog right by our balcony, and my friend and I were just chatting until I noticed the woman walking away without cleaning it up. So I said, in a tone more polite than the situation probably merited, "Excuse me, are you going to clean up after your dog?" And she says in this snotty voice, "No, I'm good, thanks." I immediately burst out laughing, though not the good-humored kind, because I couldn't believe the audacity. I said, "Wow, that's really pathetic," which apparently is more than she'd expected me to do, because she came marching back. I have to imagine most people don't call this woman out. For her to have that kind of immediate vitriol makes me think she's kind of spoiled just in general and was angry I'd embarrassed her. But she clearly knew I was right because she had to come back and double down. So she comes running at us with this kindergarten logic and goes, "I'm not the only one who doesn't clean up after my dog. Lots of people don't clean up after their dogs." And I was like, so? How does that absolve you of adding to the problem? She keeps going on about how other people do it too. So I said, "Cool, then give me their names. Let's have a list, because I don't see any of them right now." And she's like, "Open your eyes and figure it out for yourself." I was like, that's what I'm doing right now. She keeps shouting that she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to and she doesn't care what I think. So I was like, I have never met such an entitled person. It's insane to me that you're getting this angry over someone expecting basic decency out of you. And she says, "No, you're entitled." I burst out laughing again and said, "I clean up after my animals. Me telling you I don't appreciate you leaving messes on our shared property doesn't make me entitled. You're a grown woman who knew what responsibilities she'd have when she got a pet. There are tons of other people who don't want to see your dog's crap. You're not the main character." At this point, I feel like this woman has never been confronted beyond her first snarky response, and I have a bubbly and friendly tone normally. So she probably had expected to have scared me or shocked me into silence with that callous initial reaction, because she is practically melting down, trying to upset me while my friend and I laughed. She gave me a snarky, "Have a nice day," and I wished her the same in an equal tone. Then she waddled off. And no, that's not me calling her fat. She was actually really fit. She just walks in a very exaggerated, cartoonish way like Jessica Rabbit or some crap. I thought she was doing it to be snarky, but my friend said she just always walks like that. We took a short video of her, sadly not of the incident itself as we had to go grab our phones, and I plan to take it to the front office just to let them know. It's only step one. I doubt anything will be done with just this, but this has been driving me crazy, and I'm ready to start holding rude people accountable. Fortunately, I can use the corporate offices if the people here don't start to put pressure on people who are blatantly breaking their lease. It's right in there that you have to clean up after your animals. I'm not trying to get anyone evicted, but I'm hoping she at least feels the pressure to act like a grown-up and take care of her pets. Like, I wouldn't cry if she got a fine or something. Seriously though, it's painful to me that people like this even exist. She was so confident that she was somehow in the right that she didn't even try to lie about it. Like, woman, you aren't 12. The other people do it argument isn't gonna hold up in court. LMAO. It got so bad at our old complex, dogs would poop in the garage/hallway. They took samples from the resident dogs, and if they found a match, you were fined. First strike was the cost of the analysis plus a reasonable fee. Second strike was an obscene amount. Third, you didn't get your deposit back plus a fee, and your lease was not renewed. You might not have been able to lease at sister complexes.
Guau, actual consequences.
I like it. Wild. I don't live at a complex, but there's a trail near my house, and I thank my lucky stars they keep trash bags I can grab for my dog now, because before I'd have to grab leaves when I forgot to bring bags. But my brain remembered water and Tupperware to hydrate my dog. I have had to get diarrhea poop off trails with leaves, which is the worst. She has a sensitive stomach, but I can't imagine leaving poop right in front of someone. I'd be embarrassed. Yeah, there are bag dispensers in 3 spots around the main square, so they don't even have to go back to get them. It's just laziness and entitlement, sadly. But yeah, while things like that suck for sure, these are always instances where they weren't facing that kind of problem. I'm glad you're a good dog owner. I feel like going out of my way to praise people for basic decency when I see it. Update on Dog Poop Girl. It got worse. So yesterday I posted about having a nasty encounter with a neighbor of mine who was apparently too good to pick up after her dog. She made sure to let me know that I was the entitled one for not wanting dog poop all over the property, and she made sure to toss in some classist remarks expecting maintenance people to clean it up. Someone suggested in the comments that she might be the pathetic sort to come back and intentionally try to provoke us. I thought for sure she wouldn't be that dumb. Turns out, I was the fool for giving her that much credit. But it's a good thing she did, because I got a great video of her. I'm not gonna upload it for a number of reasons, but I might if she tries to do it to me. It played out in Entitled Loser 101, to a degree that it almost felt unreal. I can't believe people like this truly exist. She came by, intentionally brought her dog right beneath our balcony this time and waited. I was like, cool, let's record. So we sit there. She waits for her dog to poop. Then she starts to walk away, of course. Proof. Thank you. However, as she walked away, she saw that I was recording and turned back. She started shrieking. Oh my God, are you trying to record me? You know that's illegal, right? I said, yes, I am. It's not illegal. You're in a public space. She starts yelling at me to mind my own business and that none of this concerns me. I told her that it did concern me because I live here too, and I don't want a poop-covered apartment complex. Nor do any of the other residents, I would imagine. She told me I didn't own the complex. Like that makes it okay. Do you, ma'am? We had a back and forth, and she started recording me back, telling me threatening things like, thanks for exposing yourself, implying that she's gonna dox me and put it online. Hopefully nothing comes of that just because I want my privacy, but I haven't done anything wrong, so I'm not worried about it otherwise. When that didn't upset me, as she clearly intended, she started trying to insult me, and it was hilarious. This is probably because of your weight. XD my best friend and I burst out laughing. She called me a fat, so I started recording again to catch anything else she might say. She told me she was reporting me, and I told her to please do it so they'd know who she was when I report her. It was freaking bonkers. This woman is a nightmare. I'm actually worried this is going to escalate into something even worse, but I guess we'll see. So the second she left, we took the video down to the front office. I showed it to one of the landlords, who was appalled. I mentioned the day before and how that had gone down, and I verified that she was indeed breaking her lease. Also, the landlord thanked me for policing people who just leave dog poop behind. She said they've been trying to get people to take responsibility, and it's turning into a real issue. After that, she gave me her email and asked me to send her the videos. I did so, and now we'll see how it unfolds. I also told her that the woman threatened to report me, so she may actually call in herself and unintentionally turn herself in. I also mentioned worrying about potential retaliation so that it's just out there. If she calls the cops, I fortunately have the video so she won't be able to make up anything about me harassing her or something. I've been told to not engage with her if she comes back again, but to just contact the office and tell them she's here. I really don't know what to expect. I just wanted to enjoy a nice morning on my balcony. I'm seriously blown away. All this because someone asked you to pick up your dog's poop? What is this world coming to? Glad the apartment complex is taking action against her. Same. I had no idea what to expect. I was so relieved talking to her. She was pissed, especially when I mentioned the part about her saying the maintenance people can just do it. I was worried they'd just brush it off, but they're taking it seriously. Honestly, this infuriates me. I'm a responsible pet owner. I have never not picked up my dog's poop, even if she goes on the vacant lot that is on our route. That's honestly one of the things that pisses me off the most. She's making other dog owners look bad. I know most dog owners are responsible and aren't entitled like this, but people remember the rude jerks more. It makes me so sad. I can't believe she came back just to have her dog poop under your balcony. Shame her. Really? For real? Go to your neighborhood next door page and post the video along with the location. Go to your local FB page, post it. Go to your local Reddit page and post it. People will recognize her and make her feel uncomfortable. Entitlement like that deserves to be shamed. I am guilty of picking up poop left by a person at the park, chasing them down and throwing into their car. Because people piss me off. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.